everyone, it's me, Nina. Today I'm in the kitchen and I thought that I would use up my last butternut squash. I got quite a big one to use, so I thought I would make a creamy butternut squash soup. Now, I've never made it. I have had it, and I love it. So I thought, I've got, I think, all of the ingredients. Let me tell you what you're going to need. I'll also write down the ingredients and instructions in the box down below. Alright, so for the easy butternut squash soup, we are going to need, now you can use olive oil or real butter, and I'm going to use real butter. So 2 tablespoons of butter, a sweet onion, 2 cloves of garlic, which I've got the garlic already chopped up. You know what I always say, use what you have. So if you've got something that's going to be really, really close, then, go ahead and use that. Don't go out and buy stuff. We're thrifty here, so use what you got. It calls for a tablespoon of fresh grated ginger, and I don't have fresh, so we're going to use what we got. A 1/4 cup of peanut butter, and 4 cups of vegetable broth, a cup of heavy cream, and 6 cups of the diced butternut squash, raw or roasted. Take all the skin off of it, cut it up, put it in the oven. That takes a while, but that also causes it to be more of a caramelized, and that, they say, is where a lot of the great flavor comes from. So I've got nothing but time today. So we are going to need a half a teaspoon of sea salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, a 1/3 of a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and black pepper. So I think that is all. For the topping, you can drizzle cream, you can chop some fresh cilantro, which I don't have, or dried cranberries. That would be good. I don't have those either. So, all right, let's get all the ingredients together and get started on this. All right, just to give everybody a little tip that was easier for me, instead of trying to cut the skin off, I went ahead and used a potato peeler, and it was a little bit of work, but it was easier than trying to cut it. So what I'm doing is cutting them in, probably about 1.5 inch little pieces. I'm going to fill this up and drizzle some olive oil on it, bake it in the oven at 400 for approximately 30 minutes. Okay, now we're going to, on medium heat, put about 2 tablespoons of butter, a tablespoon of garlic, alright, I thought I had ginger and I don't, so they said you could use allspice. I don't have allspice, so I just thought, well, it said to use any spices that you like that would go with, squash. So I found my apple pie spice, and I love this spice. So I'm going to go ahead and use a tablespoon of this. Okay, to that we are going to put an onion. It's a rather large onion, but I like onions. Good for you. We're going to go ahead and stir this all up first to have that butter all over everything. But we're going to cook these onions until they're, when they start turning translucent. So that's what we're going to do on medium heat. If it starts getting too dry, I'm going to add some of the vegetable broth. Alright, they're starting to be caramelized. Some of them are translucent, but I'm going to go ahead and add in the next ingredient, which is the peanut butter. They say a 1/4 cup. I'm going to go ahead and put in a 1/3 because I've got a little bit of extra squash and stuff going in, so I want to make sure that the taste is going to be in there. And I love peanut butter. This is the healthy kind. And then you only have to just combine this just for a couple, about 30 seconds or so. Okay. To that, we're going to start adding in the squash, salt, vegetable broth. And I'm going to go ahead, get the squash added. Let's see. Might be better off using a spoon. This squash is done. It's really, really soft. But we are doing this to add, just incorporate all of these flavors together. It's supposed to have been 6 cups of squash. I didn't measure it, and I didn't want to waste any of it either. So, I'm just going to put what I think is going to be good. I think all of it will be fine. We're going to puree this all down. And then if it's too thick, you can just add more vegetable broth to it. Smells wonderful. I hope it turns out good. Okay, I'm going to add in our broth, 4 cups. Going to put in some sea salt, and then we're just going to combine it all. Stir this up and I'll be right back. Alright, now we're going to just let this come up to put it on my medium-high heat until like a low boil. And then once it starts doing that, we're going to cover it and turn it down to simmer. Simmer it for about 15 to 20 minutes. Alright, it's been 15 minutes. It's been simmering. So now we're going to add in our black pepper, cinnamon, and nutmeg. And then from here out, once I stir this all in, I will taste and see if it needs any more pepper or anything in it. We're going to add now a cup of heavy whipping cream. Stir that all in. I'm going to taste this now so that I can see what we need. I don't think it needs a thing. Okay, I'm going to turn this off, and then I'm going to start putting this into my food processor. It says to use, if you have one of those immersion blenders, I don't have one. Or if you have a regular blender, I don't have one of those either. So I'm just going to go ahead and try to do this in my food processor. Since I don't have an immersion blender, this worked pretty well. So I'm just going to continue to do this. And there we go. If it's too thick, I can add some more of the broth. Okay, Okay, this is how it turned out, and the only thing I did was add a little bit more pepper. So I'm going to just go ahead and eat it with some club crackers for today. It would be good with a grilled cheese sandwich or anything like that. So thanks so much for joining me today, and it's a little bit of work, but to me it's worth it. It's delicious. So hope that you guys will maybe decide to try this on a beautiful fall evening. It'd be really nice to serve to your guests. So blessings to you all, and I'll talk to you on the next video. Bye-bye.